Welcome, Marilyn. Thank you so much for being here today.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so would you mind, first of all, just kind of introducing people to who you are, who you treat, yeah, what you do, and
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. Marilyn Cross Coleman. I'm an LCSW and perinatal mental health treatment specialist, PMHC. I started a private practice called Shameless Mama Wellness, and we do perinatal mental health. I'm a trauma specialist and specialize in EMDR treatment for birth trauma as well.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. You do such incredible work, and what you do is it's just so needed. You're incredible, and the voice you give to these problems that new moms face, it is a voice that needs to be heard. So appreciate that
Thank
work that you
you.
do. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about kind of what you were experiencing or struggling with that led you to working with me and joining the Liberated Practice program.
Sure. When I started the practice, there was just a lot of passion. I am so committed to this population and I love working with new moms. And so as I was building the practice, I just had this mantra, if you build it, they will come, which I am aging myself there, but and I put so much into creating the website, thinking about who was my ideal client, how I wanted to reach them, and I put so much effort into it and so much work, and it didn't translate into receiving clients. And I just didn't know how to move from then creating this, what I felt was a beautiful place for people to come and receive service to them actually coming through the doors. So started to research now that I've built it and they're not coming, how do I encourage them to do so? Where do I find them and how do I open those doors? And, feel very fortunate that I came upon you and your coaching program, and it was just really what I needed.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. So I'm wondering, was there anything that almost held you back from joining the program or from working together?
No, I don't think at that point. I think prior to that point, I would have thought, oh, I can do this on my own. This is not something that I need. But when I really reached the point where I was ready to reach out, I was ready to reach out. I knew I can't do this on my own. This is not working. I had even hired someone to do SEO for my website and paid her a lot of money. And I think she misrepresented her expertise in the area and she didn't do anything. And I had paid her all this money and realized I can't really trust somebody to do this for me. I have to really learn how to do it. And that was really hard. That was a huge thing that I had to overcome because I'm not a tech person at all. And it doesn't make sense to me. I do not speak the language, makes me feel kind of dumb. So, there was a lot of, you can't do this. This is not something that you can learn. You can't teach yourself these kinds of things. And as I progressed through the program and found that I could do that and now feel like, oh, I can help anyone with SEO. It's so satisfying because that is not a skill set that I had or even thought I could gain.
That's awesome. Yeah, I know. I remember talking to you and you having had that experience. And it's one I hear about a lot where people will hire out SEO and it's not really that complicated once you understand it. But if you just hire it out kind of to anyone, like you often will not get results. So that's amazing
Mm-hmm.
how empowered you feel now to do this yourself. Yeah, very
Yeah.
cool. So, what would you say has been kind of like your biggest win, takeaway, or accomplishment that you've had since joining Liberated Practice?
So many. The one that we just discussed, the ability to really do SEO. I mean, I cannot tell you how satisfying it is. And if I can do it, honestly, anyone can, because this is so far outside of my wheelhouse. But the other really big win was just all the press that I am getting and really engaging in. And now two articles that I've been quoted in, and two more that are coming up. Yesterday I was asked to be a guest on a podcast, and that was someone who had reached out to me, and I'm just in awe that this is happening so quickly. And that's another thing that's really satisfying. It feels like that will magnify my reach. And that has felt really good, a really good big win.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I know that, and I'm remembering too, like the relationships you have built through networking that have been so valuable. That's
Yeah, absolutely. And that was a big hurdle for me because I don't like putting myself out there. I don't like being in the spotlight. And I remember when I started the program, we did a lot of work around just wanting to hide, like, exposure is not safe. And I think that's just a childhood trauma that, you have to overcome to really be able to be successful in this and put yourself out there in the ways that you need to. So that, you're right, is a very big win because once I was able to do that and people started responding and I started connecting with people, it just led to more connections and more connections. And you meet one person and they will introduce you to others. And I've made now people that I consider friends through this. And it was really hard because that overcoming momentum there was really difficult. I sent out so many emails, so many requests to meet up, to talk to people. And so once that started rolling and then it sort of snowballs, that becomes really satisfying too. And it just feels good to be connected, especially right now, and to feel connected and supported by like-minded people who also want you to be successful.
yeah, absolutely. That is so cool. You've been so brave throughout this process and so open to learning new things. And yeah, I'm just so proud of you for that. So
Thank you.
um how has all that sort of transformed, affected your life, your business? Yeah, how has that affected you?
I am far more confident. I, just have so much faith that this is going to be what I want it to be. And yeah, I think that translates into just so many things, at the beginning. And I mean, when I started the program and as I started to do it and it started to work, my confidence level improved, my motivation shot through the roof. And then once I started getting into it and getting into the material and really working through the material, I just became really motivated to finish and to do all that I could do. And that's remained. I mean, now that I have all these avenues that I'm working on with, the website and continuing to market and continuing to look for, ways to contribute to the media, it's really the momentum is through the roof. I motivated every day. I get up and I'm like, oh, okay, what can I do today? So that's felt good.
Yeah, I would imagine that's also affected like your business, like just how you feel in your business as well.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, the confidence, and being able to say, like, I'm an expert in this field, that's very hard. Well, has been very hard for me. And now I have no problem saying it. I am an expert. I do really good work. And so to be able to embody that and embrace that and internalize that is huge.
Yeah. You are an expert, and that is so cool. Yeah. And so, if someone were on the fence about joining the Liberated Practice program, what would you tell them?
First, I would say, hey, call me and I'll talk to you about it. And I would just tell them to take the leap. I mean, it's you, when you think about it and think about, oh, okay, well, I can learn all these things, I can do all these things. Sure, there's the information and there's what you get from the information and there's the tasks that you do. But it's very hard to really understand how that's going to impact you and how you're going to feel about yourself, how you're going to feel about your work, how it's going to impact your motivation, how it's going to impact your self-esteem, your self-worth, really, and the satisfaction that you will feel when you actually pull it off. It's one thing to look at it and say, oh, I can work through a workbook and I can take a class and I can do the tasks that I need to do, but it's impossible to understand how that's going to impact you as a person. And I don't even feel like I'm being hyperbolic. It was life changing. And so I feel so much more capable to move forward and do this. It's the same clinical skills that I had before I started the program. It's just how I feel about those clinical skills and how I feel about myself as a clinician. And that's invaluable. I mean, that's something you can't teach from a book, right?
That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Do you have any other thoughts about anything else you want to add?
Um, no, just to really encourage people if, they are considering the program to really give it a shot. It's impossible to really understand how much is going to come out of this. And things that I had not considered, things that I did not know existed, things that I did not know I could do, or avenues that I did not know were open to me. It was very illuminating. And I feel I am just so much better prepared to meet the clients that come in because I just feel so differently about myself as a clinician. I feel so differently about my work and I feel really capable. And again, the amount of information is really overwhelming in the beginning. It's going to be overwhelming, and that's okay. It's a journey, and you just have to start the journey, and you don't I mean, it's like the headlight analogy. You just have to see what's in front of you in the next couple of feet. Don't look at all of it. Just look at what you need to do and move through it at the pace that you need to move through it. But it's possible. And again, the technical stuff, if I can do it, anyone can. I am the least technical person I know. So, yeah.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much, Marilyn, for your time and for being here today and for, just contributing to the world the way you do and for sharing your expertise with the world. It's a better place because of you. So thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for being the amazing coach that you are. It is your presence and your warmth and your openness that really helps people to come into their own with this. So thank you. Thank you for what you do too. I mean, one thing that you did that I thought was really genius for me personally was when I was just so overwhelmed with the SEO and I'm like, I can't do this. And you're like, okay, let's backpedal, forget it, put it away, and we're going to do something else. And I don't even remember what that something else was, but I was like, okay, all right, I can do that. And then as I did that something else, there was just a little trickle of the SEO stuff that came in. I'm like, okay, that's easy. I can do that piece. I can do that piece. I can do that piece. And then when it clicked, it was like this, oh, I get it.
Yeah.
Okay. Like my
Yeah.
brain finally, it was like, these gears that are trying to meet and then finally they meet and they start. And I was like, oh, okay. I can totally get this. It has been demystified. I can't say enough and thank you enough. It's really been amazing. So I just
Yeah.
appreciate you and what you do. It's transformative, really.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so glad you joined. It's been amazing having you, and you've been such an amazing support to other people too. It's just been really cool watching you guys all like bond and share together. So yeah.
Yeah, really great group of women. You have a
Oh,
way of pulling in awesome people. So
thanks.